everybody. It's lunchtime with the Clydesdale. What's going on, everybody? So glad you could all be here. Super pumped to see everyone. Yesterday was a great day. We had 5 new members to the channel. We had one happen right after we went off the air, and so pumped about that. You guys are the best. It really does help everything to help us support this channel, to be able to get us on the air. The software that helps us get there is not free. So just that little bit helps every single month. So thank you so much to everybody who donated yesterday. That was awesome. We've got Holly in the chat, best stats and info person in the business. We got Helson. We've got Jody Lynn. The beeps on the intro always shocks me with her headphones in. Okay, maybe I'll change that in the future. James says, good morning from the West Coast. Corey Leonard, Train to Live or Trained Olive, however you want to pronounce that. And then Jay Birch. Jay Birch, what's going on? So Jay Birch is asking, what is on your knee, leg, in the thumbnail? So yesterday someone asked like what all these medals are hanging here. And they were from just when I was really in the heyday of my weight loss journey. I was running 2 days a week and then doing 5Ks, 4 milers, 5 milers, quarter marathons to have something to shoot for during the runs. And that's where I collected those medals. And so what's on my knee in that was the end of the quarter mile that I was running, or quarter marathon. And that was rock tape. So when I had ChatGPT convert the picture to a cartoon, it didn't keep all the tape there. So when I would run the longer distances, being a Clydesdale, I would do the rock tape X on my knee to help kind of give it a little bit of support underneath the kneecap as I was running. And it seemed to help reduce the shock on my legs when I ran. It could have been all mental. Who the hell knows? But yeah, it was a crisscross rock tape that would go around my knee, under the kneecap, and then down the shin a little bit. And whenever I ran those longer distances, I always did that. So, and quarter marathon is a long distance for me, just so y'all know. So that is the answer to your question, Jay Birch. We got Pool Boy here. We got Bubba. What's going on, guys? So it is Friday. Yeah, I just got done packing. Heading to Pennsylvania right after the show to check on my mom. As most of you know, I've shared along the way that she had a stroke a couple months ago. She's either at the doctor's or coming out of the doctor's right now. And then hopefully we get some good news about the side effects she has going on. And then I just want to go check on her for a couple days. And then we'll be back Sunday. I'll go to my concert on Sunday night. And then Monday, we're doing Sunday Night CrossFit on Monday night this week. So make sure that you adjust your calendars for that. Monday night, Carolyn Prevost, Jamie Latimer, and myself will be doing Monday Night CrossFit Talk this week. See me rolling. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Holly sending good thoughts. Yeah. Thank you, guys. She's doing well. Like, I talk to her every day just to check in on her. She's just having this little side effect that's making her tired. And my mom is a go-getter. She never ever slows down. Ever. And this has made her slow down. And so just want to get her back to moving and grooving like she always has. She turned 80 this year. I've told her story on here a million times. She lost 150 pounds in her 60s. And then was running, she probably ran 55 Ks in her 60s and 70s. And she has kept it off. She is a mover and a groover now. Tons of energy. And this stroke has really kind of limited her a little bit, and we want to make sure she's doing okay. Thank you, Jody Lynn, for the hugs for my mom. She will appreciate that. And Pool Boy, no, it was not a Coldplay concert. But man, you go to an event with 80,000 people and you think, no, you're just part of the crowd, right? And somehow, some way, you end up on a kiss cam for the whole world to see that you're having an affair. That is beyond wild to me. Like, how in a group of 80,000 people do you get picked out? Especially at a Coldplay concert. Like, people are snuggling all over the place. Like, there's plenty to choose from. And out of the 80,000 choices, that's who gets picked. Jody Lynn, that's what cheaters deserve. Sorry to say. I do not disagree with you. You play with fire, you're going to get burnt. And that just shows you, play with fire, they're going to find somehow, some way, in 80,000 people, they're going to find you. Even then, if you're not displayed, there's still a very high chance that you'd run into someone you know. Well, they were there with people they work with. Like, they were there with people they know. Like, the whole company was in on it, apparently. I mean, wow. Traint Olive, Karma Baby, and Jody Lynn, Best Karma Traint. Now we've changed his name completely to Traint. How can we talk about this and not DB? Because I didn't see the video footage on a Jumbotron. So everything else is just he said, she said. You know what I'm saying, Aaron? A little bit of difference. And we have talked about DB. We've talked about her moving. We've talked about the effect on the people that she left behind and the effect of the people that are going to be training with her going forward. We talked about the coaching changes. We talked about all the stuff that we know. Shanna, thank you so much for another super sticker today, $1.99. We appreciate that so much. You are the best. I want to know how the pole vaulting's going. That's what I want to know. So yeah, it did appear like the whole company knew that other people from HR were there sitting with them and that was going on. And they kind of were laughing about it. So maybe it was a plant. Maybe it was a setup. Who knows? I will say this, Aaron, about the DB thing. Now that we've seen the effect of it all, something definitely happened. There was something going on in that house. Someone saw it, and the ramifications of that are that she's no longer a brute athlete. We know that for a fact now. And in every video she has put out now, you can see the gooch in the background. So go figure. But it's really funny how our eyes are better focused now after the fact. And we can see him in the background of all the videos. So crazy. I do feel bad for Matt Torres. Every time I've met him, he's been nothing but he's been nothing but kind to me, and very forthright with information. He's been on the show before. I met him when I first became friends with Emma Carey when she was just getting started, and he was her coach. He was awesome. He was awesome to talk to about her. Really, really appreciated our conversations back then. So I do feel horrible for him. And if he was in love like that, to do that is crazy. George Wang, how do you have an affair in a suite with your coworkers? I don't know. That takes a lot of balls to take your side piece to a concert and they probably all know anyway. They work together. I'm sure it's known at work that this is happening too. I met Matt Torres at CrossFit Tailwinds, and he was super nice and personable. Bubba said side piece. Well, I mean, that's what it is. I've been married almost 30 years. Like, I couldn't even think about cheating on my wife. She's the love of my life. We were meant to be together. And so anything other than that, I mean, it's a side piece, right? Ryan Aldrich, Bill Clinton was always described as super nice and personable too. Okay. But I don't think Matt cheated. Matt was cheated on. So there's a slight difference there. I asked Shanna about her pole vaulting. Pole vaulting is getting better every day. That is awesome. I was talking to Shanna last year and doing the behind the scenes of the Masters CrossFit Games. And she told me that she was going to try to break the record for pole vaulting and had never pole vaulted before. And now, and then I saw videos of her like learning the pole vaulting and actually like getting up and launching herself with the pole and all that stuff. And I'm just rooting for her. I love Shanna. I just want her to have all the success in the world. So I think it's cool that you pick something up at her age and take something on and go for a world record. Bubba, DBE is a ticking time bomb, in my opinion. Longer you hold it, best of luck. Well, earlier in the week, we were talking about her and this depleted women's field. So just like off the top of my head, the people that are missing this year's CrossFit Games that have finished in the top 10 are Gabby McGowan, Laura Horvat, Alex Kazan, Bethany Flores, Emily Rolfe, Paige Powers, and then Emma Tall finished 11th. So all those people were top 10 finishers, and they're all missing this year's games. And not all because of the boycott. Some are missing it because of injury, like Gabby tore her Achilles, Alex Kazan, the car accident, Bethany Flores, pregnant, Paige Powers, pregnant, coming back. Man, if there's a year that you don't want to mess things up, this is the year. This is your shot. This is your year to podium, especially if you're Danielle Brandon. Like, why would you pick this year to throw it all away 3 weeks before the games? If you were going to podium any year of your career, this is the one. Let's factor in the next rumor. If Tia is pregnant, if she truly is pregnant, we don't know how far along that is. And if you haven't seen that, she did a story the other day and had Willow with a shirt on that said sister. It would be odd to wear a shirt that says sister if another child is not coming. But if she is a weakened Tia because of that, and we don't know how her body is going to respond to pregnancy, if she is in fact pregnant, man, this is a wild year that you could make so much headway and podium. Tristan said, dude, she was pregnant with Willow and she destroyed the field. That is not true. If you listen to her story, she was celebrating her game's win when she became pregnant with Willow. Craig, who said anything about sex? Tia isn't pregnant, especially long enough for her pregnancy to determine sex. Whether it's a boy or a girl, Willow would still be a sister. Right. Willow is still the sister, whether it's a boy or a girl. Unless she's shopping at the Goodwill, says Jody. Ryan says, or maybe because it's such a weak field, she's like, well, this is the best year to. I have no idea what that means. Oh, F around and find out. Okay. I think that's right. Did I get that? Celebrating her win. Is that what the kids are calling it nowadays? That's what she called it. So, Mark Phillips, my wife announced it to me with my son wearing I'm a Big Brother t-shirt. That's kind of what I'm saying. So, if that's the case, I just think it's a weird year to mess it up like Danielle has. She legit could have podiumed this year with as weak as this field is because of injury, and 10 years from now, nobody's going to remember all of that. They're just going to remember you podiumed. And even if Tia isn't pregnant, the rest of the field has depleted enough to give you a legit shot at podium finishing. A legit shot. It's just to bring that chaos in 3 weeks before the games is just so foolish. Train Olive, last time DB changed coaches right before the game, she got fourth. Okay. Let's go back to 2023, right? 2023 when 2022. 2022. When she left underdogs and went to the games. She crushed the MAC that year. I believe it was the MAC or the syndicate. There was two in the same place. She won it by a landslide. She was as fit as I've ever seen her. I don't know. I don't see a repeat of that. Maybe in her head, maybe that's the good luck charm. I don't know. A CEO has to be sacrificed every summer now. Some people prefer chaos. Well, you're willing to take her on as a coach, so I got to lump you in with the chaos lovers too. I would also say the field was arguably stronger that year, just playing devil's advocate. We'll see. Jay Birch says it the best so far. Maybe she needs that friction to light the fire. Fueled by hate. So, also could be less chaotic not being a part of the camp that your ex runs. True. And Helson with the gooch friction. There you go. We prefer the hate. There it is. All right. So the people that are at the games, what are they actually going to see? They're going to see event 4, which we got a glimpse of yesterday. And here it is in all its glory. 5 rounds for time, 300-meter run, 12 deadlifts, 100-foot handstand walk. Back on the Danielle thing. The only reason she's not a part of that camp is because she made him her ex. And Ryan Aldrich loves the chaos too because it makes it more interesting. Love some side stories. All right, so IE4 is 5 rounds for time, 300-meter run, 12 deadlifts, 100-foot handstand walk. Then again, CrossFit puts out a video showing them. Yes, I'm moving on, Jay Birch, because I have a trip that I have to go to. I've got a 4-hour drive to PA tonight. So, then there was a video put out behind this, and I love that they're doing this. I love that they're showing the evolution of the workout and how it started, how it ended, why they're doing what they're doing. The only thing that so immediately this comes out. And if you guys know, my co-host on Sunday nights, Carolyn Prevost, is the best deadlifter in the world. So she sees deadlifts and gets all excited. And then she sees 220 and she deflates. To go 350 to 220, she just does not understand that. And you can see in the comments, she's the first one. 220 versus 350 for the men with a little, she had an advantage. She had an advantage by the deadlift. Now, we didn't know it was axle bar when she first was talking about this, and she'll be on Monday night to talk about it in more depth. But what I want to ask you is, now that we have these videos out that are showing us out the evolution, you have Ben Smith, one of the strongest athletes in CrossFit, and then Allison Scudds, and Ben does it unbroken at 350. Allison Scudds needs to break it up. But Allison Scudds has never been known as a strength athlete. So the separation between the weights just seems bizarre to me. And I am no programming expert. I don't want to get into this into detail because this is not my forte. I'll let the athletes talk about it when we talk Monday night. But it just does seem like such a gap. Now, I've heard from other people that have been analyzing this that the axle bar, once you add that in, is a bigger disadvantage for the women than it is for the men, because everybody's using the same size bar now, instead of the men using a thicker bar, the women using a thinner bar. And now you have everybody using this axle bar, and that actually gives a bigger disadvantage to the women. So I'm anxious to hear what Carolyn has to say about that on Monday night. So tune in for that and we'll see what's going on. And CJ says it is, but not that much. Yeah, I'm sure that Carolyn's going to say the same thing. But I think that Carolyn likes this workout. She's good on her hands. It's not a long run, and the deadlifts are like her jam. So she's super pumped about this. But what I want to commend CrossFit for is the video that comes out after. I think that is new, that is creative, that's allowing us to see how the sausage is made. And it gives us a better understanding of what they're thinking. And so I think that they need to keep doing that bit by bit. Now, how many of these are going to release before the games is going to be interesting. But I do like this approach that they're doing with the ones they do release. These behind the scenes videos are super cool, but they show two things: how the testing athletes are probably not the right ones, and how out of touch Castro is with athletes can do these days. Yeah. Maybe. Corey Leonard agreed. Tristan, the test is the test. Here it is. Now line up and let's see who can run it best. Oh, it did. Athletes or coaches complaining before is just not productive and sets you up for decrease in performance. Whether the weight is right or wrong, it doesn't matter. I think here's the question that I have as a spectator, not a coach or an athlete, as a spectator. Do you think the stimulus of the tests needs to be the same for both men and women? Or because all the women are doing the same stimulus and all the men are doing the same stimulus, that is fine? I think that's the big question on this overall. Because in my mind, I don't care. If I get a good race on both sides, do I care that for the men this was a deadlift workout and for the women this is a run workout, or vice versa? I really don't as a spectator. I just want a good race at the end. Now, I know there are programming geeks that talk about this till they're blue in the face, and I listen to them and I try to understand it, but it's just not my thing. I just want to see a good race. I want to know a good story. That's what I want out of this whole thing. I missed something here. The right athletes have already qualified for the games, though. That is correct. It's very rare that you have someone retire that is capable of the same things that the athletes who are at the games are doing. Only matters with your competitors. Aaron Fraser, if this is supposed to be a heavy test, it is important for the test of fitness. Tristan Patrick, ideally, globally across the games as a whole, you want that? Yes. So you're saying that it is important that the men and women get the same stimulus out of every event. And speaking to the out of touch, Lito says it's an issue if you think that it's going to be a 20-minute workout and it ends up being 13, and then you don't have a 20-minute workout. I hear what you're saying, and I hear what their arguments have been made about that, Lito. But when was the last time that Dave programmed an event that ended considerably different than what it was expected to be? I think at this point, it's just a prediction, right? Craig, agree. Good race, good story. It's also hard to judge the events individually without the entire picture. I agree with that, Trent. Ryan, 100% right. Dave has a pretty good track record when it comes to programming. Uh, 2021 games TDC under program, the yoke workout. He's even admitted that, though. That's like one of his regrets. I think besides that, he's pretty spot on. Exactly. So I think criticize him over our predictions. he has a better track record than I do in programming. So at this point, I have to say he's better at predicting this stuff than me. Aaron makes, and only for Tia. Yeah, that's a tough one because Tia was so much better than the field in that workout. Did he really underprogram it, or did Tia just break it? So, yeah. Anyway, that's the workout. Again, we'll get into it a lot more with Carolyn and Jamie. I know Jamie's trying to do some of these for Carolyn, so she should have some input as to how they go. So we should have some like test results in the discussion. It'll be interesting to see what we learn there. We also do not know what he wants to be the linchpin or if there are twists. The other thing from the video is, if you noticed, like Ben did it on the runner, but Scuds on the last, right before the video ended, she finished and ran out the door. So are they running a loop or are they running on a runner? Because that changes the workout too. CJ, has there ever been twist truly that we didn't know until game time? It used to happen all the time. I know when I was volunteering in 17, we hid the strongman sphere elements back in a barn and tested it. It was tested back there where no athletes were ever going to see it, and all of that kind of stuff. I also know chaos was a big shock to athletes. Who's Carolyn giving her coaches pass to? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. The ranch loop was a big twist nobody knew about. Heard. So yeah. Thank you, Sevan, for the like and subscribe. Yeah. So that's that. I don't have much left for this because I do have to hit the road. Again, I have a 4-hour trip to Pennsylvania. But we will Monday night, Carolyn and Jamie will break this workout down and event 2. And we'll hear more about that then. The last thing I have is I'm a huge fan of The Bear. If people have not watched The Bear, it's one of the best shows on TV. I finished season 4 last night. It was so good. I really didn't like season 3 of The Bear very much. I love season 1 and 2 a lot. And this season was back to seasons 1 and 2 quality. And if Jamie Lee Curtis doesn't win best guest performance by an actress, I don't know. It's episode 9, freaking amazing. She was off the chain good. And Jeremy Allen White, the star of The Bear, his performance in the last few episodes was completely blew me away this year. So loved it. Loved the whole end of the season. Mark Phillips asks, if you could only pick one, The Bear or Better Call Saul. I haven't seen either. Oh gosh, that's a tough choice. Loved both. Better Call Saul starts really slow. It takes a couple seasons to get into a groove, and then it's freaking fantastic. But you have to know Breaking Bad to watch Better Call Saul. So I would say that if you have not watched Breaking Bad, go with The Bear. Know that Better Call Saul starts really slow. And The Bear starts off firing right from the get-go. With the bear, just know that season 3 is like a transition from season 2 to season 4, and you just have to you have to get through that season, but everything else is amazing. So I would go with the bear, just knowing that Better Call Saul is a slow start. But once you get past the first 2 seasons of Better Call Saul, and it's essential, you have to know the backstories of all these people, because it's not only backstories of Better Call Saul, but backstories of Breaking Bad. And then once you get past that, then it's freaking fantastic. The bear it is. Awesome. I'm going to leave you guys with this. I watched James Sprague on Sevan this morning. I'm a Christian man. I love Jesus with all my heart. He is my Lord and Savior. That 23-year-old kid can talk about his faith in a way that blows me away. And I wish I had what he has to talk about it in that way. What a fantastic young man. I have been rooting for him ever since he won the games, and everybody dogged him because they said he only won it because of the tragedy and because of the programming. And then he won Wadapalooza, which was fantastic. He took second at WFP, and he has been very competitive throughout this qualification season. I want nothing more than that kid to like blow it up and kill it at the games this year. He has worked his ass off to get from where he was to where he is physically, and I think that he has all the tools, and he's finally showing it. But man, his talk on Sevan this morning was A+ viewing, and I wish I had what he has to be able to talk about my faith like he talks about his. Freaking outstanding. Ryan Aldrich, I'm not super religious, but that man does a great job of speaking about it in a way that isn't ick or aggressive. Seems like a great guy. I agree completely. He was great. If you haven't watched that, I encourage you to do so. He is not afraid to talk about his faith. And he took a lot of hits last year from talking about it at the games after Lazar's death. I'm telling you, I was there. I was deep in my faith feels during that games. And sometimes that's what gets you through. And he explained that well too, that Lazar had become a believer right before his death, and that helped him get through that whole thing and why he continued on with the games. But it's a great conversation. Please go check that out if you haven't already done so. With that, guys, I'm going to head into my car. I'm going to head to Pennsylvania, take care of Mama for a couple days. The rest of you, it's probably time to get back to work. So you go ahead and do that, and then we'll see you Monday for lunch with the Clydesdale, and then Monday night CrossFit Talk, one day late this week with Carolyn Prevost and Jamie Latimer. Thanks, guys, and we will see you soon. Bye.